Hey, how you doing? It's Coach AK.
And Zano, formerly known as Chad.
What's up? So
What's up?
our last our last podcast, our last episode, we talked about goals and identifying your eternal why, and then beginning to find ways to get you closer to reaching that goal, to living the life that you want to live. And then at the end, we also talked about distractions. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about distractions and how
That
to
was a
remove.
distraction. Sorry. Gotta shut this thing off, man. Forgot to shut my phone off.
Exactly. That's going to be one of them. As you know, on this show, we don't do any cuts, no edits. We can
Nada.
go straight through.
Authentic. So for today, we're gonna get into distractions, as AK mentioned, and we want to offer, in addition to those distractions, some solutions. And the solutions kind of span and the umbrella pretty much all the distractions that we're going to talk about. And we wanted to talk first about disorganization, disarray in the home or in whatever environment you're working in. And if you have a goal that you're looking to attain and you have a lot of stuff that's kind of not in place, it's very easy to maybe take an extra hour to clean the house instead of doing what you need to do, say from a business standpoint, making phone calls or doing some internet type of marketing. Exercising, instead of exercising, you clean your house. So disarray would be the first one. AK?
Well, yeah, touching on that disarray, there's two ways we can go about it, right? Some people may say, like, I'm a neat freak. I need to make sure that my house is clean, okay? If that is the case, make sure that you still are focusing on your goal first. Okay? But if you have the task or the goal in mind, do what you need to do first for your goal to get you closer to reaching that goal, and then focus on cleaning that house. Don't use that as a ploy or a tool to get you off track.
Yep, checking it off your list. And lists are good. Having a list of things that you need to get done and have that, clean the house on your list and just make it happen. Get help wherever you can so that you're not thinking about it, so it doesn't become a distraction. So that's the first one. Another one would be procrastination. And AK, I'll let you lead on this one.
With procrastination, I think we all know what procrastination is. And in one of our other talks, we were talking about the word that we use the most regarding procrastination is the word tomorrow or later. First thing I want to say is tomorrow is not guaranteed. Heck, 20 minutes from now isn't guaranteed. So thinking that you're going to wait till tomorrow to get stuff done is a procrastination. What is literally stopping you right now at this very moment in time to move forward on your goals? So procrastination is waiting or giving yourself time not to do the work that you know that needs to be done at that moment in time.
And there's a saying that just came to mind. Procrastination is the assassination of motivation. So you get your goal in mind, you're going after it, and then all of a sudden you're procrastinating, you're doing other stuff, and you set yourself back so that you need to do that much more to get motivated again. So,
and to touch on that, procrastination is a habit. So when you continually procrastinate, you are reinforcing in your mind, in your habits, to procrastinate. You're just telling yourself, you know what, I can always do this later. Or I'm gonna do it, but it's tomorrow. That is the biggest thing that holds most people back is procrastination, just not doing the work. Failure to take action.
Exactly. And then like you said, you're just going to continue to do that. You do it once, you're going to continue to do it over and over again. Dude, that was awesome, man. That rocked. So procrastination. Now, another one would be doing everything yourself. And where I take that one is there are little activities that you can do, but you could also have other people do. You could delegate to other people. So doing everything yourself, the story comes up of Henry Ford. He was up on the stand. They had him up on the stand because they thought he was too dumb to run a company. And, one of the people went up to him and asked him a question, and he couldn't answer the question. And, they said, well, this is a pretty simple question. We're not really sure how you are having a challenge with this question. And, they said, well, this is why we're here, because we don't think that you're smart enough to run this company. And he said, well, why would I basically use my brain power and feel that I need to answer every single question when I have a team of people working with me? Who, if I have a question on finances, I ask my financial expert. If I have a question on accounting, I ask my accounting expert. I have people working with me. So that, in that same respect, in your life, I'm sure you have people who can help you with certain little details so that you don't need to do everything yourself. Oh, doing everything yourself, number one, is overwhelming. It's stressful. It's continuing on the path of just not having a fun life. So having a fun life, but you get what I'm saying. Having people around to help you with some of those activities so you don't have all the pressure on your shoulders, I think would be a good thing.
And to touch on that as well, is when you do everything yourself and you do not have the expertise or the knowledge to do it, there is time that you are wasting acquiring to learn that new material. And I'm not saying it's bad to learn. I think it's fantastic to know and be very well versed in various areas. But when you're trying to move your mission forward the fastest way possible, trying to do everything yourself is only going to slow down the process. And it's actually going to be tougher because it's going to be tougher to scale when you're the one that does everything. You need to learn how to delegate, learn how to trust.
It's analogous to looking for things. I think looking for things is just a total waste of time. You need to look for things to find them, but just when you're putting the brain power into looking for something, man, it's on that same type of level. But you only have so much energy in a day. You want to expend that energy on result producing activities as best you can. I think that's the bottom line there. The next one, waiting for others to support your vision and your mission. So just telling yourself, oh no, I can't move forward with this until this person or these people are supporting me or say it's okay. And that, I'd say, is there's no way that all of the lights are not going to be green before you take your first step. You need to take your first step at some point. I recently did a blog on fog. We were at the beach and I was looking out and it was a foggy day. So you looked out maybe 30 yards and this fog wall was there, right? And so I said, how are you going to move past that wall? How are you going to see what's in front of you, right? If there's a wall of fog there, the only way to go through that, or the only way to see what's in front of you, is to walk into that wall of fog. And what happens is when you walk into that wall of fog, all of a sudden it's not fog anymore. I mean, you're in it. You know where you are. You know what it is. So you got to put that foot in front of the other, and you can't really be waiting for everyone else to support you, because you're eventually going to find people who are going to support you along the way.
Right, and I'm going to touch on that. Two quick stories. Is the first one is that could be an individual to support you, or that could even be a financial thing to support you. Some people are saying, I can't start this endeavor until I raise $250,000. I can't do this until I get this and that. There's been many organizations and many people that have been able to succeed without having big angel investors starting or helping them on their path. There's stuff that you can do right now. And then a quick story that I'm going to do the truncated version. The first time I went skydiving was in 2005. And
Awesome.
went skydiving. And when I went skydiving, there's two options you can take. You can either do the tandem, where you go with somebody else, you can go by yourself. We didn't have a lot of time, so I decided to do the tandem. You have to sit in a 2-hour class. They teach you about what you need to do when you get up into the plane and you jump. There were 3 things that I needed to do. The first one was when they opened the door, they wanted me to scoot to the end, put my feet on the rail. The second one was on 3. They're going to count down from 3. They wanted me to jump. And then the third step was when I jumped out of the plane, they wanted me to put up my arms like this. So we get up in the air. We're at 10,000 feet. The door opens, and they count down from 3. So they're like 3, 2, 1, and at that moment, I freeze, right? Because at that moment, I had all that training. I sat through the 2-hour class. In my mind, I had everything. I'm ready. I know how to skydive, until I had to make that leap. So they counted down again from 3. So 1, 2, 3. And the tip that I had to do on that last one was when I fall out of the plane, I got to put my arms out like this. So they count down from 3. They're like 3, 2, 1. And this time I kind of froze, but this guy kind of just pushed me out anyway. And in my mind, I was doing this when I was coming through, falling in that free fall. But in reality, I was doing this. Right? I was screaming. I was going crazy. And the instructor actually had to wrap his arms around me and get my body like this. Right?
Wow. In the air.
In the air. And what I realized was this. I learned more in that 10-second free fall than I did from 100 hours of taking a skydiving lesson. So what the tip is on that is, for us, our distractions, we always feel like we need to learn, we always need to be ready, we always need to get some more information, rather than walking through the fog or just taking that action. Right? So procrastination is failing always. I need to plan. But they need to take that action. You'll learn more in that action. You'll learn more about entrepreneurship by opening a business and going through it. You will learn more about skydiving, for me, jumping out of the plane. You'll learn more about what it is on the opposite side of that fog when you walk through it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it's about taking action. And you look at 95% of our population is in a situation where they're either numbed or they're just not going to take action.
Right.
And that's why we're doing this call, because everyone has in them the ability to take action towards, as we talked about in the last podcast or two, going after a goal. So yeah, that must have been an amazing experience, and man, a whole lot of life lessons in a very condensed time frame. Because physiologically, you like you said, you mentally you believe that you're prepared, but then physiologically, once the event hit, your body started to do things you had really no control of. Mm-hmm. And you're in a situation where you've never been in that situation before. I would imagine you hadn't skydived before that, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah,
no.
It's interesting, and I like the talk of, or when you shared that when you got to the end of the plane and you looked over, you froze, because how many people freeze and they get back in the plane, dude, and they don't go to the edge again,
right?
Because they froze at one time, they stepped back into the plane, and they watched everyone else jump out, and then they went back to land with the plane, in the plane.
Right.
And they never experienced it again because of fear, because they got numbed out. Let's face it. Use the example of a business whereby someone, they fail in a business. So that's analogous to them coming to the edge of the plane and freezing up. So they failed in a business. They walk back into the plane. It's a matter of going about it again. You fail, you pick you pick yourself up, you brush yourself off, tie your bootstraps up, and you go forward again. And you read any book on business success, life success. People fail more times than they succeed. So you may go to the edge of the plane and freeze 10 times, and then the third time you go out and your arms are flailing around, and the guy needs to help you to bring your arms back, but you did it. So the point, you took action, you broke through that frozen mold, and you did it. Because you very well, AK, could have gotten back in that plane and just gone back down with the crew.
Right, and that kind of goes right along with the distractions. Sometimes one of your distractions is your past failures, your past experiences. Oh, I did this before, so I don't want to do it. So to get back on, it's the distraction. Sometimes it's yourself, not even somebody else. It's that your past failures, your past experiences that you need to overcome.
Exactly. Just look at them in the rearview mirror. Mm-hmm. So, family. Family can be easily an excuse or a reason. And I like this one as a distraction example because you have a goal. You know, we've been talking about this and you want to achieve something. And we talked a little bit last time about including your family in your goal. So then the excuse of, oh, my family's they're all need me at the same time becomes a reason whereby you share your goal with the family and say, this is why I'm doing this. And then everyone within the family hopefully will get to the point where they support you because you're doing it for everyone. You're not just doing it for yourself. It's not for selfish reasons. So, including the family in the brainstorming process. And then, like you said at the beginning, AK, you want to schedule things out. You want to have that schedule so that the family knows when you're working.
And I think some people, and I've had conversations where they feel like success in life and success as a family man are separated. It's like, well, I'm not going to go for this endeavor because I got a family. I want to be close to my family. And it's not either or. And it's an excuse that you were saying that people have. You can have both. You can have a supporting family and you can also follow your dreams.
Absolutely. One of the things I was thinking before was that you were talking about people who say can't. And there was a posting on Facebook today that said, when you say you can't do something, I hear blah, 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 blah. Because everyone has it in them to accomplish whatever's on their plate, and encouragement, support, empowerment, putting people up on a pedestal. And then if they continually come back at you and say, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, it gets exhausting when then they shift gears and they bust through it. It's awesome, for you and them. So when people say can't, you want them to be able to crush that.
And I also, and to touch on that, there's a difference between I can't and I choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think many people confuse the two. Like, I can't open up this business. No, you physically can. You physically can wake up, get in your car, drive over to the state office, fill out a form for the LLC, get an EIN. So you physically can. You just choose not to. You're unmotivated not to do it. So, and most of the stuff, you're not asking to do something that's impossible. Usually the stuff that most people say they can't do, somebody in the world has already done it. I'd understand if you're saying, I want to fly to the moon next week. Yes, I could understand the I can't. But to say that I cannot run a mile and you haven't even stepped out the door is an excuse.
Right. And coachability is big too. If you're working with someone, you want them to soak that coaching up so that they move forward. 5 people. I think we all like this, and this has gotten a lot of notoriety throughout Facebook, LinkedIn, all over the place. You become the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And Jim Rohn mentioned it. I'm not sure who's the one who coined the phrase, but I think that's completely true. If you hang out with people who are, and I have to kind of apologize because I have an Italian background and I talk with my hands and I move my body. And so I'm trying to stay within the middle of the screen on all these podcasts. But, surround yourself with people that do what we just talked about, empower you, encourage you, lift you up when you're down, give you the kick in the pants when you need it. And, life just kind of feels different, because the stuff you got, you can vent, but you're not down the path of dwelling. You vent, and you vent with the right person. Dude, they tell you, it sucks. It sucks what you're going through right now. It really does. You made a bad choice. What can you do now? You can't go back and change it. Move forward. And it's about surrounding yourself with, and they say a handful of people, and every 6 months, one of those people is going to be replaced. I think Earl Nightingale mentioned that. So every 6 months, there's going to be one, I think it was Earl Nightingale, mentioned that one of those people is going to be replaced. And you think about it, certain people are permanent, and then others, it's pretty true if you reflect on that.
Well, I mean, to talk about it, the distraction is, are you loser friends? I'm going to be straight blunt with it. Do not, if you are trying to do something big, let's say train for the Olympics, do not have a whole bunch of friends around you that eat bags of chips and are lazy bums. Because every single time you're going to want to do a workout, they're going to say, yeah, you're working too hard, man, just relax. Can't you just take the day off? So the distractions are your friends. And I know it may be tough, but here's what I've realized that's really important, is when you decide you want to be the person you want to be, they're going to fall off because they will not understand you anymore. So in some ways, it's going to be a mutual split. And you don't want to have that crabs in a barrel mentality. They can either pull you down, or when you get to that next level, they're going to be like, man, I don't even know you no more. You've changed too much. Like, yes, I have changed. And they're not going to want to associate with you either because the conversations are going to change. What you want to do for fun may change. So there was an article that came out and says the reason why I dump my loser friends, but this is kind of why. And I'm not going to say your friends are losers, but just make sure that you surround yourself around people that are going to empower you, as Xana was saying.
Yeah, I was talking with my cousin today, and apparently he had the same nickname in high school. I didn't realize that. I thought I was original, but apparently not.
You're the only Xana I know.
Thank you. It was a drill. I don't know if I told the story. It was a drill sergeant. We were playing lacrosse in high school, and the guy was good and tough on us. I mean, he was a good coach, but he said, what's this guy's name? And the head coach says his last name's is Zanotti. He's like, well, that's too long. I can't pronounce that. His name's Zano.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stuck, and it was just reborn. What, 2 weeks ago? Last week? A couple weeks ago. So I digress. I apologize. So we'll talk about email, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, texting. If it needed an immediate answer, it wouldn't be on Facebook. Email, text. You'd get a phone call, someone would show up at your house to talk to you. So, man, that's using those for business is one thing. Using those for, quick little personal interactions. But man, how many times a day do you get invited to play Candy Crush? I don't want to put the game down because I'm sure it's a good game. I just have never played it. And I don't mean to single one particular game out, but I'm asked to play a whole bunch of games, and when I'm on there, I want to be zoned in on what I want to get done. What are you about the same page?
Well, yeah, I think social media, not even with Candy Crush, it's a time suck. And I agree that sometimes you just need to, it's a good way to connect with friends, but you need to recognize, and everybody I think can recognize, is the feed. You can look at one image and you scroll down and you're trying to stay updated, but it is a distraction. And social media, emails, most of us, there was a 4-hour work week by Tim Ferriss.
Uh-huh.
He talks about how, because we work 8-hour days, we are taught to fill that 8 hours with work. And in reality, we probably really do a productive of 20 minutes to maybe an hour of quality work a day. What we do for the rest of the time is that we fill it in with busy work. You do not need to check your email every 10 minutes. You can check it every 3 or 4 hours. And like Chad was saying, if it was that important, nobody sends an email expecting an immediate response in 5 minutes. So if you respond at set intervals throughout the day at 12 or 2, whatever, it will force you not to always check it, or always check or every time you get a notification, or somebody sends you an email or a text on your phone, you're not going to always be so apt to want to check it.
Right. And I have to say that I'm not perfect. I mean, I have my challenges because it's tough, man. You get into the groove of wanting to get back to people really quickly. But like you said, it's essential to schedule out, and I'll go back to a couple of podcasts ago. We talked about not worrying about the how. The how is going to be presented to you. Well, when the how is presented to you, you're going to know it, and you're going to know you need to take action on some things, and you're going to need to schedule out that action. And what we're talking about here is scheduling that action and getting rid of the stuff. So minimizing the kind of mundane use of these media platforms, I think would be a good way of putting it. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think most people would agree. I think people know that television, social media, emails, to an excessive amount, or even a moderate amount, is a distraction.
Yeah.
And for most people, they use the word, I'm just trying to relax. But ideally, it is a distraction. And if you feel that you need to use these as a medium or a tool to relax because you had a stressful, crazy day, maybe that's just showing you that you're not on your mission and your purpose in life, as if that's what you need to do to relax from a whole day of not doing what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And did you know that they do brain studies on our synapses, and when you're playing a game, your brain's working really hard. So if you want to relax, that's the furthest thing from a relaxation type of activity. Mm-hmm. Relaxation is meditation. Relaxation is maybe reading a book, a fiction type of book that just allows your brain to relax and kind of settle in. So it's really not, you're really doing the opposite of relaxation when you're doing that.
And then you were talking about meditation. So we're really getting into the point now. We talked about some of the distractions that can face us. That's distractions.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Oh, yeah.
I apologize. I just want to add one in.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if anyone else has this challenge, but it's a challenge of mine. But, later in the evening, habitually just, going to the fridge or habitually going to the pantry. Mm-hmm. And you're not really hungry because a lot of times the hunger sensor, if you will, is mistaken for the hydration sensor. Mm. So people are really dehydrated when they think that they're hungry. So, I may go to the pantry and, grab food that I'm not hungry, I just grab food habitually. Or go to the fridge and do the same thing. And what that does is, it breaks your pattern of thought and shifts you off path towards working on stuff that you should be working on or could be working on. And not only that, when you got food in your body at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, your body's working to burn that off. And it's not going to happen before bed. So what do? You go to bed and you got that food in your system, and it's just a cascade that occurs. Mm. So that was one that I wanted to throw in. Again, I don't know if other people have that type of challenge, but eating junk food at night or grazing, and instead of maybe just drinking a glass of water and allowing your hydration sensor to settle down a little bit. So,
yeah,
thank you.
And I would understand because I do have an eating problem. I have this problem when I don't know when I'm full. So.
Well, working out like you do, man, you're getting metabolism into orbit. So.
Cool. So ideally, we've talked about identifying distractions within our lives, whether it's with social media, whether it's with family, whether it's any type of excuse. Most of us can identify some of the distractions. And I said in the last episode is that we only really have two choices in life. At any second of the day, we have 86,400 seconds in a day. And it's either that we're working towards our mission and our purpose in life, or we are not. And that's how it always is. Whether it's a distraction or not, if you're not working towards your overall mission, your purpose in life, then you're filling it with something else.